Hey, thanks for joining me on the Life Podcast, where you guessed it, we talk about life. My name is Austin, and I am so excited that you are tuning in. This podcast exists to encourage you and walk alongside you as you experience life. So thanks for tuning in. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Life Podcast. I'm super pumped that you are here, so thank you for coming. You are the real MVP. And before we get into it today, the title of today's episode is going to be this: How to be Thankful in 2020. And we're going to talk about this because it's Thanksgiving. It's a great time to be thankful. It's a great reminder to kind of remember what we have. But here's what I want to do. Since it's Thanksgiving, I want you to send this to somebody that you're thankful for. Send this podcast to somebody that you're thankful for, whether you're watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Click that share button, send it over to them, and that way when they get to this part in the podcast, just a couple seconds in, I'll let them know, hey, if somebody sent this to you, it's because they're thankful for you. And so anyway, go ahead and share this with somebody that you are thankful for. And we're going to talk a little bit today about, some things we're thankful for, how we can even be thankful in a time like 2020. And today with me, as you've seen if you're watching this on YouTube, my beautiful wife is with me, and she has been on the podcast before. So tell me, what was your experience like the first time on the podcast? How was it?
It was good. Before, you and I were a little bit tense, trying to get everything set up.
Yeah,
that's all good.
Yeah, the thing is, when Kinsey and I do a project, it's always very tense. And
we both have our ideas of how it just should go, and they're not the same. But then we don't communicate that, and then we just butt heads. We
butt heads the whole time. And fun fact, actually, the first episode that my wife was in was actually my most popular episode to date. Still is the most popular episode. So kudos to you. People only show up because apparently they like you. So hopefully you can get us some viewers, get us some likes, some listens. And if you have not yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you rate the channel. Give me a follow on Instagram and follow all the new content that I am putting out as far as this podcast goes and my life goes. So perfect. Let's get into today's episode. Like I said, Thanksgiving is this week, so we have to talk about being thankful. This is interesting, though, because like I said, it is 2020. And 2020 has been full of all sorts of things that we don't necessarily think we should be thankful for. For example, many people have lost their jobs. Yeah. Many people have been sick. Many people have faced a lot of change in their life. There's been all sorts of racial injustices, social inequality, the most recent election, if you're in the United States. So there is just a lot of stuff going on. Tensions are high, and it doesn't really feel like there's a lot to celebrate in this season, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot to be thankful for in this particular season. But my goal for today is I really want to hopefully shift our perspective on how we can look at 2020 and say, hey, you know what, maybe there were some good things that came out of 2020, or despite all these things, I still have this, or despite all these things, I can still be thankful because, and that's what I really want to help do today. And if maybe you're listening today and you're thinking, man, I really feel like this year has been wild, it's been tough, I don't know if I can celebrate, I'm so thankful that you're here, and I want to acknowledge your pain, acknowledge the struggle that you've been through this year, because it's been real for everybody. I went months without my job, we went months without a paycheck, but we're on the other side of it. So anyway, that being said, the Bible actually says in 1 Thessalonians to be thankful in all circumstances, not just in the good times pre-COVID, but to be thankful, post-COVID, post-election, post all this craziness that we've been living in. So be thankful in all circumstances. We're going to talk about that. And I brought my wife on the show because, Kinsey, I'm so thankful for you. You're beautiful, and I love you. And I have to say that for the camera, of course.
Oh my gosh.
Just kidding. No, I love you for sure. And I'm so grateful that you would actually come on the podcast with me again. So, and we've had conversations, around this topic, and I thought you'd be a great one to bring on here. Plus, you're always reminding me of the things that I have in my life, and being just helping me to realize that there really is a lot to look forward to and a lot to celebrate. So let's get into this. Let me ask you a couple questions. Kinsey, what are some things that you are thankful for in the year 2020, just to start it off?
So, not to be cliche, but I'm thankful for you because, you've taught me a lot just in our whole relationship. So that's something that I will always be thankful for.
You're getting some serious brownie points.
Okay. But aside from that, I would say our daughter, obviously, and just the people in our corner that we have supporting us in all of our endeavors that we're going for, this podcast and all of our dreams and hopes and visions. We have some seriously good people that are rooting for us and cheering us on and just loving us through it.
Yeah, I will definitely say that's one thing that's probably been as far as 2020 goes and how it's been such a wild ride. We've had people there, that are willing to support us and help us out. As a matter of fact, we just moved in with my mother-in-law, with your mom.
Yep.
And it's been a journey, but we do have a ton of people in our corner. Let me ask you this: what are some positive things, maybe some specific things, but positive things that have happened to you that you're thankful for in 2020? Maybe not just like generalities.
Yeah.
But like, what are some maybe specific things that you're thankful for?
I would say that I am thankful for like the type of leader that 2020 has brought me, like especially in my Young Living business. Like I've done it for over a year now, but I think 2020 really like set the tone for me to be able to like just love on everybody that is like under me or has trusted me, and been able to like actually lead them with a good heart, if that makes sense.
So maybe people that were struggling. I know you've reached out to people who have been maybe having a rough year.
Just being able to bless on them in that aspect has been amazing.
Yeah, that's super cool. And that's one positive thing, of course, for you that you can be thankful for, that you are growing as a leader in 2020. I think we all have the opportunity to grow in 2020 as well. And
we have to take the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, whether you choose to do that or not. Now, let me ask you this. What are some negative things that have happened in 2020 that you're thankful for? Because we can be thankful for negative things.
Yeah.
We don't just have to be thankful for all the good things in our life, right? So
yeah. I would say one thing that I'm thankful for is we had a couple miscarriages, and they were definitely hard, but they coming out on the other side has taught me personally like just a lot. And I think it has strengthened our relationship a ton and shown us again, like everybody that supports us and is in our corner.
Yeah, that's really good.
Loving on us through that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that like through the pain you can see like God working to bring the healing or bring some sort of life lesson that he wants to bring out of it. So
yeah, that's really good. You and I were actually having a conversation a couple days ago when we were throwing around this podcast idea.
In the car?
In the car, driving. Were you driving or was I driving?
You were driving.
Was it scary? Did you get car sick? Kenzie always gets car sick when I'm driving.
Yes. Especially when we drive your car.
Yeah.
Because you can't shift very well.
Yeah, it's manual. Anyway, you said for you, one thing that you could be thankful for in 2020 is, you said this phrase, you said, 2020 has taught me a lot of things about myself. 2020 has taught me a lot of things about fill in the blank. But I thought that was super profound. We didn't necessarily talk any specifics, but I love this idea that pain and struggle can be a teacher in our lives, and pain and struggle aren't things that we should avoid, that we should try to avoid. As a matter of fact, the Bible says, blessed is he who perseveres, and talks about all the trial that we're going to walk through, not just as Christians, but as people who are literally just like living life. Somebody says, whether you're Christian or not, my favorite preacher, Judah Smith, he says, we have far more in common than we don't. Speaking of people who believe in God and people who don't. We all have far more in common as people.
We live the same life.
Than we don't. So we're all going through the struggle. We're all living it. And 2020 has been a great teacher, I think, for a lot of us. A teacher of ourselves, because it's really revealed a lot of things that were already in us. Because when crap hits the fan, oftentimes what happens is that our true selves are revealed, because we can fake it.
You can be strengthened through it.
Right.
Because the only way to experience growth is to go through the hard things.
Right.
And to experience the bad and the muck. Like, just because something, like you're in the middle of a terrible season or something that is super hard or painful for you, doesn't mean that that's all you'll get out of it.
Right.
You have to be willing to shift your perspective, learn the lessons that God's trying to teach you, and come out the other side a stronger person. Yeah,
definitely. I think one thing that has been kind of presented to me in 2020 was this idea that you can only fake it for so long. Like, you can fake it as far as, your success, fake your personality, fake who you really are when the times are going, like when life is going good. It's really easy to kind of put on a front, put on a face, put on a mask, quite literally, because it's 2020. But it's really easy to do that when times are going well. But as soon as bad things happen, job loss happens, sickness happens, all these other things happen, our true selves are revealed, especially in this election. I was so shocked to see how many people were just like so angry and like showing hatred towards one another, because times have been so tense all year. It's like just it's flowing into every decision that we make. So if 2020's taught me one thing, it's that that we just need to be like real with ourselves as to who we are, real in everything that we do, and really be intentional to, you know, take our weaknesses and like
learn from them and grow.
Yeah, learn from them and grow, but be aware of them, because
you have to accept them.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you shove them down and they just get worse.
Yeah. No, that's super good. Let's move on then. How can we be thankful? So we kind of talked about that we should be thankful, but how can we be thankful in the midst of trial and bad circumstances? You know, 1 Thessalonians again says, be thankful in all circumstances. So what are maybe a couple pieces of practical advice that we could take away from this that would help us to really be thankful in the midst of all these circumstances?
I think one is we have to remember what the word thankful means, because I think a lot of people hear the word thankful, or somebody asks you, what are you thankful for? And they think that thankful is a thing, when in reality it's our response to something. Good. Because a lot of people are like, what are you thankful for? And you're looking for things to grab onto to tell them, when in reality it's all about your perception. It's about shifting your mindset to see the good in situations. Even if you're going through something terrible, you can choose to see good in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that is a super great response. You know, just to add to that, you've been through, you know, some stuff in your life. I've been through some stuff in my life. Let's get a little bit specific here. I didn't prompt you for any of these questions, of course, but when I told you that I had been addicted to pornography, I know that was super hard for you. But in the midst of that, you met me with so much grace and so much love and so much mercy. In the midst of that, you really had a good attitude about it. I mean, there were some struggles for you, of course. Yeah. You weren't like, you were hurt. Like, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But you really seem to embody that concept of like a great response will lead to at least how you treated me. So what were some things that maybe helped you kind of treat that scenario in a positive way? Because I think your mindset, and I told you, I was like, man, we're going to have a daughter. Like, I can't be doing this anymore. And so maybe for you, you were thinking, oh, this is great. He's really turning into a great man. Or like, how did you deal with that?
Honestly, I just thought it was hard, but I married you for who you were, and I love you for who you are. And it wasn't just because like something negative or hurtful came out of it. That didn't define who you were.
Yeah.
And like working through that, like I knew that shame was just going to lead to more bad things. Yeah. It wasn't going to do anything to fix anything.
Yeah.
And so it was better for me to be able to remember like Austin is the most amazing person I've ever met. Like,
come on.
Stop. He's like, you're such a good person that your mistakes are mistakes. We live in a very evil and hurtful world where so many things are out to get us, or are out to like, they're trying to trap you into who, like they're trying to change who you are. And that didn't change who you were. And coming out on the other side of it, it was important for me to be able to support you through that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, definitely that makes sense. And maybe we're kind of getting a little off topic here, but I think just to put that into perspective of we're all going through it, we can all find something in a scenario to be thankful for. Like, like I can look back on that experience now and say, wow, it really hurt to, confess that and to, work through that restoration process. But it was so worth it for us. And now I'm thankful for it. Like, I'm thankful that I had you in my corner. I'm thankful that I no longer have to struggle with those things. So like, I can look back and say, oh, I'm thankful for that experience, even though it was hurtful and it was painful. I
was thankful that you were coming to me,
right,
and telling me, because like that meant a lot to me. You weren't trying to like work through it on your own, or work through it without telling it to me, because that would have been even more hurtful, I guess. I was just thankful for you.
Yeah, so come on, you're earning all the brownie points.
They're not brownie points.
I guess, I don't know. Anyway, that's super good. Let me ask you this question, and I kind of like this question. If somebody came up to you and said, 2020 has sucked, and it's the rest of the year. Who cares? It's not going to get any better. So many bad things have happened, and I have absolutely nothing to be thankful for. I have nothing to celebrate. What would you say to them? Like, what kind of advice would you offer them?
Well, first of all, I think it is very important when people come to you like that, to acknowledge their pain and to just like accept them saying that, like like, I get it. 2020's been hard. Like,
yeah, that's good.
These things are hard, and validate them in their feelings, but then also saying like, but I'm thankful for you in this conversation with you, and being able to talk about the hard things with somebody and not have to go through it alone. Like, if you think about it, everybody's gone through the same year. Mm-hmm. We're all experiencing the same thing, just in different aspects. And so being able to be thankful that like we're not alone is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And then I would just talk them through situation and try to show them the good and speak life into their situation so that they can feel a sense of worth and like promises coming out of the muck that they're in.
Yeah, for sure. And to add on to that thought of something that I could tell somebody like that, and if this is you listening and you're thinking, wow, 2020's been a crapshoot, I hate it, I have nothing to celebrate, I'm looking forward to 2021. 2020's not over yet, you still got a month, and I think there are many things that we can look back on and be grateful for. However, I think that this is so cliche, and I've said it in a few podcasts before, but really just shifting the mindset to saying, wow, 2020's been terrible.
The mind is powerful.
But instead looking at it and say, what has 2020 taught me? Like, what lessons have I learned through all this bad stuff? Did I learn stuff about myself? Did I learn stuff about, relationships? Did I lose relationships that were hurting me? Did I gain positive relationships? Or whatever it is, looking at it at a different angle or perspective is super good. And going back to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, I think it is. Well, I'm not actually sure what chapter it is. But that verse that says to be thankful in all circumstances, before that, the two verses before that say, rejoice always and pray continually. And then it says, and be thankful in all circumstances, for this is the will of Christ Jesus. And it's so powerful because I think that if we need to be thankful, there's two things that come before that. We need to rejoice always, and we need to pray continually. And then being thankful follows that, which is really cool to me. So like if you're not experiencing this attitude of gratitude per se, have you been rejoicing lately? Whether it's the little things, hey, I got up out of bed on time this morning. I'm thankful for that. Hey, I had a good breakfast this morning. I'm thankful that I had time to do that. Hey, I got to catch up with a good friend last week. I'm thankful for that. Celebrate I wish in our culture.
Celebrate the little things.
Yeah, I wish in our culture that we had like a celebratory culture. I feel like we really are good at celebrating the really big moments in our lives, but let's celebrate the little victories
the tiny
too.
Moments,
And then moving forward, praying continuously. And maybe you're not a person of prayer or somebody who prays, but for me in particular, if I'm having a bad day, if I'm really struggling with something, I will take it to God. And as cliche as that sounds, that's what the Bible tells us to do. And that doesn't necessarily fix my bad attitude, but it helps me to put my problems into perspective. And that's what it's really about, because being thankful and choosing gratitude is just that, choosing gratitude. It's not waking up one morning and being like, wow, I'm so thankful today. Like that might happen.
Shifting your mindset is hard.
Yeah.
And like we get that.
Yeah.
It's not something you can just automatically do. It's something you have to practice. But you're never going to be able to shift your mindset if you don't start somewhere.
Right.
Start with the little things, because the little things lead to big things.
Yeah, really good. And do you have any last thoughts on that question in particular? Because I got a super important question coming up next.
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
Thanksgiving is this Thursday, and I have to know, what is your favorite dish
Oh my gosh.
on Thanksgiving? Now, maybe you need to be nervous.
Honestly, I don't know, because Thanksgiving has always been like just a really fun holiday for me, because I would go to both of my grandparents' house, and both of my grandmas are like just really good cooks. I don't know why they didn't give that to me.
Yeah,
but
I need help.
Stop.
Anyway,
but I like it all.
Babe, I know that you are thinking of your Grandma Sally shrimp dip right now.
I like the shrimp dip, but I'm also thinking of the potatoes and gravy, or my aunt's like homemade potatoes, or the turkey. I'm just thinking of
I'm
it all.
more of a ham guy on Thanksgiving. I can't lie.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't really care for ham all year round, so.
Oh, well, that's fair. Well, if I had to choose, I'm a dessert guy.
You like cranberry.
I love...
Which I think is
like,
gross.
Like the canned
yeah, that's
cranberries,
gross.
like the jellied ones. I don't know what it is, but I could eat those all day. And typically, if there's any leftovers...
That's what I'm not getting every year for Thanksgiving.
I will eat the rest of them because there doesn't need to be any leftovers of those.
If you want to eat, you have to buy it.
Oh. That's fine. I will gladly do that. Anyway, I think that about wraps up this episode of the Life Podcast. McKinsay, I seriously love every time you come on the episode. Hopefully this will be our next most popular episode since you are on it. But
you'll just have to keep bringing me on then.
I know. Good thing we live together. Good thing you're my wife. So, again, thanks for coming on. And if you have not done so yet, make sure you like, share, subscribe, do whatever you got to do. But we need to get the word out that the Life Podcast...
Share it to people you're thankful for.
Right. Share it to people you're thankful for.
Because we're thankful for you guys.
Yeah. Also, I got some cool Life Podcast stickers. If you want one, hit me up on Instagram. At Austin Naillon, and I will make sure to mail you one, get you one, because I think they're pretty cool. And
I like them. They're nice.
So perfect. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming, and I can't wait to see you right back here next week.